I'm John Filson. I'm a Peace Studies instructor at Chapman University. So what is Peace Studies? It's not this. It's more like this.
Ibrahim lives in the Central African Republic. He grew up with friends of all different ethnicities and religions. But there's a history of conflict between Christians and Muslims fueled by fears of exclusion and poverty. In 2013, an armed uprising overthrew the government, sparking violence all over the country. Ibrahim watched as his friends were forced to choose sides amid the growing danger. Despite the risks, Ibrahim and local religious leaders made contact with militias to try to address their grievances without attacking civilians. Today, he continues this crucial diplomacy to prevent his community from spiraling into an all-out war. The purpose of peace studies is to understand the complicated reasons people resort to violence, and to figure out strategies that help peace builders like Ibrahim succeed.
How and why do people become divided and ultimately violent toward each other? What strategies are effective in real life to both prevent violence but also change some of the social and political factors that draw people into conflict in the first place?
I don't think we all like violence, at least personally I don't. And especially nowadays, I feel like there's just a lot of tension in the political arena, and I feel like it's a good tool to learn how to listen to each other and really try to create change.
There's peace studies and there's peace building. Peace studies is a school subject like physics or literature. It's interdisciplinary, which means it draws ideas from many different subjects like political science, economics, history, sociology.
There are many lenses that are used through peace studies. Instead of just how can we efficiently solve this problem, it's how can we make sure that all people get the best solution possible in the most peaceful way.
Peace building is a professional field, like law or journalism. It's the actual work on the ground of implementing strategies to both prevent violence and change the root causes of violence. It can happen at the interpersonal level, at the social or societal level, or even the global level between countries. Many people who work toward peace building call it other things. Development, for example, aims to tackle poverty. Humanitarian aid helps people in emergency situations. Human rights and the rule of law helps hold perpetrators of crimes accountable. There's diplomacy and mediation to diffuse tense situations that might turn violent. And then, of course, there's the long-term conflict resolution work that aims to transform the relationship between different groups of people.
Peace isn't something that needs to be particularly attained just by foreign countries. It's something that can happen on smaller levels, even just between two people. And all of the, I feel like, tools we learn to effectively communicate, effectively listen, also can just pertain to everyday life.
Our field is built on certain values. For example, increasing peace anywhere in any form starts with self-awareness. I'm white, I'm a man, I'm straight, I'm able-bodied, I'm middle class by US standards, and I'm filthy rich by global standards. Who am I to go into someone else's life and someone else's conflict and say, you know what, I have answers for you. And yet, I do have something to offer. I have certain skills and talents, experiences, insights, all that can be helpful to other people who are struggling through conflict situations. Peace studies is also very data-driven. We're not interested in assumptions or wishful thinking. We want facts, we want hard data, we want to know that things we're talking about can actually be effective in real life. So that's why there's a good balance in our field between theory and practice. You need both the study of peace and the practice of peace building to inform a knowledge base that everyone can use. If you've watched the video this far, then some part of you believes that the world doesn't have to be quite as violent or unfair as it is sometimes. Peace builders very much believe that. We're not naive to think that we have all the solutions or we can eradicate violence, but we're also not naive to think that some change and some improvement isn't possible. It is possible. More and more people are understanding the value of studying conflict and violence and what really creates peace and what doesn't. There's plenty of people who believe that humans can do better, and we're working toward that. That's what we're about.
Peace studies is important because we live in such a competitive society. A lot of times groups can be marginalized or the needs of groups can be forgotten, and peace studies focuses in on those groups, and so it works for more people than just for less people.
I love this field because I admire people like Ibrahim. Danger, threats to himself and his loved ones descended upon his community. But he didn't walk the other way. In fact, every day he gets up and he chooses not to walk the other direction, at great personal cost. But he does it because he knows it's good. And I think that's the best of what human beings are, and that's what I want to be. If that resonates with you, you should explore peace studies. Thank you for watching.